going on, everybody? It's your Fly Tech guy Mark, and today we're going to be talking about the Surface Duo in a day. And these are my general thoughts about it, but if you guys want to see the full review, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell because it's coming out in a couple weeks. This is just what I think of for a day now overall about the device, and there's a lot to talk about, so let's dive right in. Unboxing this device was absolutely amazing, and I was shocked how small and compact and how thin the device was. And it's something that you don't think about when you watch these other reviews, but it's probably the same size as a Pixel 4a or an iPhone 11 Max Pro, so it's pretty small. And I actually really like the design of it. And while I was using this phone, I had two types of moments. The first one was, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And then the second one was, I can't believe that this is what this phone has. And we're going to talk more about that, but while we're talking about the design, let's look at what Microsoft has done. They've made this device so thin, and when it's open, it's thinner than a USB Type-C charger, and it's thinner than pretty much every other phone out there on the market. But with thinness comes sacrifice, and they sacrificed a few things. One being the battery size, two being some of the specs like RAM and camera modules. We'll get to that. But it's still an overall amazing device, and it's designed beautifully. We know that Microsoft can make great hardware, and we've seen that in their Surface laptops, Surface Pro lineup, whatever it is that they make. Even their headphones is really well made, so their hardware is not an issue. And then when you think about it, with the Android operating system on top of this, you think this can make a pretty good phone. And don't get me wrong, it does, but there's just a little things about it that I don't think it could be your daily driver. Now that the hardware is out of the way, let's talk about this software. And it's really not as bad as you would think, and I think a lot of reviewers really harped on it. But with my product, I haven't found too many bugs here and there. Obviously, there's their general first-gen device bugs. YouTube lagged a little bit when I was using it on one screen and having another app open on the other screen. There's a couple times where the screen goes black and it's kind of hard to maneuver around. It's a little frustrating, but this is a first-gen product and an entirely new form factor that we haven't seen before. So I think that you have to give it credit here that the software is actually kind of well optimized. And with the data that Microsoft and Google are going to collect with this device, I have a feeling that their second-gen software is going to be pretty darn good. And a lot of apps are going to optimize for this dual screen because this is a great form factor. With all that being said, a lot of people talked about the camera software and how it was really frustrating to switch between which side you wanted to use it, whether it was selfie or whether you wanted to take a picture of something else. And I didn't have a problem with this. I think the pre-release software did not have this feature in it, but with mine I can flip back and forth between screens. So it notices when I flip to which screen I want to flip to, and then the camera just goes on that screen. Now, it doesn't work perfectly. It does mess up in some apps. It messed up in Snapchat a few times for me. It messed up in the camera app a few times for me. And when I flip, the screen may just go entirely back to home. So it is a little frustrating, but again, it's a first-gen device, and you're expecting software glitches like this. Remember I mentioned those two moments where I was like, oh, this is amazing, and then I can't believe this happened. Well, the amazing is pretty much everything about the device. I think the form factor is amazing. I think using the device is amazing. The screens and how much fun they can be to use two different apps at once and multitask. It's just an amazing device. And then that UGG factor comes in when you use the camera. Now here's what I think. I think that if you have a work phone and you have a personal phone, this could be an amazing work phone. You can take multiple calls, you can use two screens, warn Teams, look at Outlook. I mean, there's endless things that you can do with this device as a work phone. As a personal daily driver, I just don't think it's ready just yet. I think the second version is going to be absolutely amazing, but I don't think that right now I could use it as my daily driver. And that camera is a big factor. I like to have a camera. I'm coming from the Pixel 4 XL, which has arguably the best camera on a smartphone next to the iPhone 11 Pro. But this one, the software is decent. The apps, they're decently optimized. The camera is terrible. And those reasons, I'm out. I can't have a daily driver that doesn't have a good camera and software sometimes glitches. Personally, I want to use this phone all the time, but again, I'm harping on that camera, and it is that bad. I think you have to really see it to realize how terrible it is. But I do have a little bit of a theory, so stay tuned. Here's what I think. This is my little conspiracy theory. In the first video that MKBHD had with Panos Panay with the Surface Duo, he walked through a bunch of different prototypes. And Panos Panay showed him multiple different ones, and there's one that sticks out in mind that was matte black, and it had a hole for the camera on the back of it. Now, I guarantee when Microsoft released the first one that they were also working on a second generation one, but obviously people don't know about that. Now, I think this could be what they do for the second generation one, and if they do, I will 100% say it is a recommendation to buy this phone if you want to get stuff done. And as a daily driver, I think it will work if it gets a better camera. And you know, who knows, maybe they come out with a camera on the back and it's still terrible, but I think if they give it better camera hardware and a bigger place for the camera, they can make a really, really good phone. That's my little theory. It may be right, it may be wrong, but I guess we'll see. In another year, we have to wait. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you can see the full review of this coming out in a week or so. It's your Fly Tech guy, Mark, and I'll see you guys in the next one.